All right, welcome back to the Speed Sport Podcast Studios. One last time, I'm Grace Woelbing, and I'm here with my co-host Taylor Ferns and our guest Jade Avedisian. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. All right, I'm going to be a pro at this.
There you go, Grace.
Feeling better. Feeling
Round
better.
of applause.
Alrighty, so now we get to talk about Chili Bowl, which is coming up extremely fast. Taylor, I think, starts her journey tomorrow.
Yeah.
To head out there.
Yeah, well, I pit stop in Indy.
Okay.
Got to
yes.
get a few things. Yeah, then I'll be there for a few days and then heading out.
All right.
But yeah, the trek actually began on the 1st for me because then I came down here, So packing for like 2.5 weeks.
Oh my gosh,
You
yeah.
should see all the clothes.
Yeah, Jade, when do you head out there?
Saturday.
Saturday. All right. I'll be there Tuesday, so we'll all have to meet up.
Yeah, we'll
out
have to
there.
congregate.
Yeah.
Good.
This is my first Chili Bowl, so I'm gonna need a little insight on what to expect, because I've heard so many things. Obviously, there's so much hype around Chili Bowl and all that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So-
I think it's my personal favorite
Yeah.
all year. So.
Have you started your airborne gummies yet?
Oh.
You got to
What's
start
that?
preparing for because of the carbon monoxide and the fumes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People get sick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So start your airborne ASAP. The fact that they don't sponsor the Chili Bowl for me, mind blowing.
Yeah, we started 2 weeks ago.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, I started
way
last week. Yeah,
behind.
I started last week. I got my gummy every morning. Got it.
Yep.
Oh my.
Yep.
So what does it do? It just helps.
It's with your immune system.
Oh.
Yeah, but last year
Thank
I
God
actually
I
got
did this
really
podcast.
sick.
Me
My
too.
prelim night, and so Mark Daly was parked next to us, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you got to get this girl. She's going around with IVs, with the vitamins."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like $300.
Speaking of that,
I
I'm
was like-
getting one on Friday.
Are you?
Just so I.
Where are you going? Somewhere around here?
Yeah, I forgot the name.
I was like, maybe I'll go while I'm here or in Indy.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
You
Yeah,
got this is
it's pretty bad.
preparation. Preparation
Okay.
is key.
All right. No one told me, so I'm very grateful. for
Hydrate.
this
I would
conversation.
load up on vitamins.
Yeah,
for sure.
hydrate, liquid IVs.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely make sure, because it's easy. I think, for myself, honestly, it's hard to, or not hard, but you kind of forget to drink water because it's cold outside.
Yeah.
It's not like
makes
summertime
sense.
where you're, thirsty all the time. So, for me,
Yeah.
it's gosh, I need to drink water and,
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
I'm eating, and especially that week.
I
Like you
know.
were saying, you got sick on your prelim night. I got super sick. After the feature, I went to the media room, and I was like, I gotta go home. And I
Yeah.
was, puking till, Saturday morning. I was like, oh, I gotta
Yeah.
get it together.
Yeah, well, it's so easy also, even during race season. I mean, you might have experienced this too, you get caught up, you're running around nonstop like a
Yes.
chicken with your head cut off, and this summer I had, an experienced dehydration, malnourishment,
Oh
the
my
whole
gosh.
9. So
Yeah,
it's easy, especially at Chili Bowl, it's easy to do
Yeah.
because you get caught up in what you're doing.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
And you're always talking, so it's obviously all those people, and
Yeah.
it's already kind of winter, and it's just going around. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said, during the summertime, especially Indiana Midget Week, when you're just going and going and going, and Chili Bowl, you're just going all week.
Yeah.
And, it's just easy to, get down and get
Yeah.
sick, kind of.
Those
Yeah.
liquid IVs honestly have been game changers.
Yeah,
Especially,
they
I'll have
are.
at least one a day, and then when I'm at the racetrack, I'm walking around with the pink drinks all day.
And they taste pretty good, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Good
The
to know.
have you had the
Good to
strawberry
know.
ones?
I've had them all.
Oh,
The
really?
passion fruit is good.
Yeah.
We're plugging them, and it's we don't.
Yeah, come on as a sponsor.
Yeah.
Liquid IV.
So what was your first year, not racing, but attending? Because I know you attended before you raced.
Yes, so 2022. 2022 I watched, and then I raced 2023, and then this year 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so didn't you do that just to kind of prepare a little better and kind of just see, I guess, what's up, how it goes?
Yeah, exactly. So I've never been, obviously, before that, and I knew I was going to race 23 because I wasn't old enough. That was this year. I wasn't old enough to run 2022.
Okay.
So
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, I basically was I want to just go just to, I've done the shootout, but obviously, everyone says, the Chili Bowl is different. So I just wanted to go, get a part of the building and the atmosphere, and just make it a little bit easier when you go back for,
Yeah.
first try. So.
Well, it is so important to do that, though, because I remember, doing something similar. You go and experience it because it is such a different week, different
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yes, for sure.
Even just getting used used to like what goes on from the day to day. So it's not like your first year like culture shock.
Yeah.
You know? And so
yeah, it's like it could be overloading kind of.
Yeah.
You know, the fans come Saturday are probably the best fans I've ever seen. But,
Yeah.
you know, they're loud.
Yeah. Wicked, yeah.
You know, and there's obviously a lot of people around and a lot of people to talk to. So I think it was just kind of, you know, get a feel of it. And so it's not so new, you know, going into
the energy.
You know, the year racing.
Yeah, the energy is
The
next
energy
level.
is
Top row
unmatched.
rowdies.
It's unmatched, yes.
What were
It's
some of
fun.
the like main differences from like running shootout to running Chili Bowl? You know, like obviously you guys are talking about like even the energy is super different, you know, but like racing wise, like how different of an experience is that?
Yeah, I think, you know, breaking down the track, obviously, you know, the midgets are have a bigger tire and stuff, so they build the curb faster than, you know, the micros. So I think that was kind of the main thing was, you know, how fast, you know, the build or the curb builds and how big it can get. Like, if you look back on, you know, my prelim night at the end of it on Tuesday, you know, the curb was probably, you know, one of the biggest curbs I've ever ran. So I think that was, you know, a huge difference. And then obviously, like you said, and you said, you know, the energy is unmatched. Like under caution, you can hear them, and like you said, the top row rowdies, you can definitely hear them. And, the crane
They
horns
definitely
up there.
they live up to their name.
Oh
for sure.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. It's an experience and a half, Grace.
It's really
Oh
fun.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So your prelim night, your first, basically, I guess you had practice, but then that would be your first time like racing on the track. You finished third.
Yes.
I mean, that had to be like, oh my gosh, like big relief, you know, like just kind of getting that out of the way. Like, I mean, I know you didn't lock straight in, but still that was, I mean, a phenomenal first performance.
Yeah, for sure. You know, you never really know, you know, how you're going to stack up on your prelim night. And, you know, Tuesday night there was a lot of good people. So, like you said, you know, there was a lot of, you know, relief from that just to see kind of where we stacked up. But yeah, we were definitely sad. You know, we missed it by one, but at the same time, we were like, it was a good, you know, performance for a first try.
Yeah.
So I thought it was, you know, a good week though.
Well, even just going off of that, when I started going at a young age, and people can probably remember, like they used to take the top 3 and lock in the top 3. So I was actually a little, I mean, it's grown so much over the years, but I was like, you finished third. I was actually annoyed for you because I was like, you know what? She's like 5 years too late because she would have just locked straight in, you know?
Yeah. I was going to say that had to be annoying almost. Like,
yeah, and especially like, you know, 10 laps to go. I had a chance to take the lead. I got to second 1 point and then I messed up. So I was like already mad over that. And then I didn't lock in. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, one thing was, I remember, you probably don't remember this, but the whole week last year, I wanted to introduce myself to you because I feel like we'd like walk past each other, whatever. And I remember one time just looking over at you and I was going to say hi and you were just so in the zone. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not going to mess up her mojo, but I wanted to ask, like, what makes you tick? Like when you get up in the morning and you're like getting ready, like what makes you like persevere to like get through the day as far as like what your goals are, you know?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I think, you know, I have a very, you know, high energy in me to, you know, wanting to win and, you know, wanting to, you know, I think actually, you know, one thing that I love to do is the cage stand. So I think that was just like, you know, one thing I really want to do. And obviously, you know, you have to win to do that. So I think that was just like, you know, making sure, you know, that I have, you know, I want something to do and I have, you know, something to look forward to every night. And obviously, you know, you get to look forward to racing, you know, no matter however you do. It's just something fun that we do. And but yeah, I think, you know, I just really want it so bad that it's I just want it basically.
Yeah. Well, you can always feel that too. Like I always kind of tell people, like, you know, I feel like everyone's different, but when you talk to somebody, like you can feel their energy, like their passion, like how bad they want it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I definitely get that vibe for you. But, you know, everybody's different, though, you know? So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think, and especially, you know, that week, there's a lot of hype into it and a lot of pressure into it. And so you want to give it, you know, your best effort, you know, no matter what, but especially that week because there's so many people watching. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about, like, making the A-main last year. I think you started 13th and then had a couple issues and then ended up 18th. But, I mean, that has to kind of set the expectation higher, I would think, for this year to know that, like, all right, we did it last year. Like, what's kind of your goal of, like, where you want to be at the end of the week?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think if you, like you said, you know, you go to the feature on Saturday. It was so cool to, you know, be in it for the first year and, you know, walk out on stage. You know, it's just a feeling that's kind of unmatched. And, yeah, I think, you know, we have obviously a lot to improve on, you know, during the feature. I got up to 7th at one point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, keep going.
Yeah, and then I kind of just faded, you know, mistakes on my part. But, you know, going back this year, you know, this year will be the first year with KKM, so I'm definitely confident, and, you know, I've been with them all year, and, you know, I know how the team works, and I know how, you know, Jared is going to have me, and, you know, I feel, you know, really good going into the week, but obviously, you know, it starts on, you know, Wednesday night. It's gonna, you know, we got to get through, you know, our heat race, our qualifier, and then put a good 30 laps down. So Wednesday night is gonna basically tell you if you're gonna have a good week or a bad week. So, but like I said, you know, I feel good into it, or pretty good at going into it, and I feel confident, you know, with the team, and you know, we're just gonna go give it our best effort and see what happens.
Yeah. How different of a, like, driver do you feel, or even just person, from, like, last year showing up as a rookie and now this year after everything that you accomplished last year? I mean, you had a ton of seat time, ton of accomplishments, you know, like, how different do you feel going into it this year?
Yeah, definitely, you know, a lot more prepared, you know, and I feel like, you know, having a whole year with KKM and, you know, racing a ton, I think you build confidence, you know, over time, obviously, and being with the same, you know, group of guys all year and going into, you know, one of the biggest races, like I said, you just build confidence and you feel good about it. And, you know, even myself, I feel like I've grown so much in the last year, or even, you know, starting at DeCoin till right now, I have grown exponentially, you know, myself as a driver, and you know, how I can you know, think about it on the racetrack, and, you know, how I can make sure I think about it kind of the right way if we ever restart, or, you know, whatever the case is. So I feel like I said, I feel like I've grown so much, and I've learned so much this year.
Yeah. So last year, rookie at Chili Bowl, you were with Chad Bow. This year, veteran, rookie stripes are off. You're with KKM, which you've had success with, as you mentioned, like right off the bat. I think your second race with them, you won DeCoin Indoors. Yes. And so, what does that transition what has that been like, if there was any at all? I mean, you killed it right off the bat, but, like, going into your veteran year in Chili Bowl, like, how might that look different?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's definitely going to look different. Obviously, you know, we've had the whole year to, you know, log laps and, you know, learn so much that, you know, I think if you just break down our whole season, you know, like you were saying, it was kind of weird. You know, we won the second night out on DeCoin, and then, you know, we had a month or two of, you know, me just, like, struggling really bad, honestly, and, you know, the month or two of me learning a ton. Like, for instance, like, I would push, I think there was like 2 or 3 times I would push so hard and had a chance to win and had a chance to take the lead, and pushed so hard taking the lead that I spun out or wrecked, or, you know, whatever the case was. So, you know, backing myself down was, you know, a huge deal. So now that I know going into Chili Bowl, you know, that backing yourself down is a huge part of it, especially, you know, at the end of the feature, the curb gets huge, and, you know, the track, if it gets too big, you know, you got to get down to the bottom or whatever the case is. So I think I've just learned so much that I feel pretty good going into that place. So.
Well, it's like, you know what, you don't learn unless you make mistakes, and, like, that's definitely part of, like, the growing stage. And so, you know, I've been there, so I totally know. And it's like, you would have never learned that if you didn't mess up, you know?
Yeah,
and so
for sure.
I think, like, long term, like, obviously you'll totally be better off for it.
Yeah.
And
last year I know we talked a couple times, and you were saying how, like, you're like, oh, I just saw red, you know, like, what color are you seeing now? Like, blue, tranquil, like,
yeah, like, especially, you know, when we talked, that was, I think, the month that I was kind of struggling, or no, that was the month,
you won I thought you won like 4 races.
Yes,
or something.
I kind of started, figuring out, and the flip changed and switched or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
light bulb went off.
Yeah. Exactly. So, but yeah, that was a huge part of it, just to make sure, I backed myself down, that I wasn't giving it. Pete always says this from KKM. You can't give it 110% every single lap, and that was my issue was I would just drive it as hard as I possibly could, and obviously it worked sometimes, but most of the time it didn't.
Yeah.
So
it's easier to slow somebody down than speed them up. So
yeah, for sure. And I think I've had Jared in my corner, Pete and everyone else at KKM to make sure, that they teach me, and obviously, they have, and I'm so grateful, for them. I think that was a huge, or part of our season that was missing, but I'm glad that they taught me, and I took it in and learned as fast as I could. So
yeah.
And
as we kind of start to wrap this up, I was curious, just what was one of your favorite memories or like moments from last year's Chili Bowl? Like, was it being awarded Rookie of the Year? Was it after the A-Main? Like, what was that like special moment for you?
Yeah, I think the Rookie of the Year was definitely pretty cool, and making it in, and I think walking on stage on Saturday is super special, and then obviously our prelim night to podium was really cool. So I kind of have a lot of special moments from that week, but overall I thought it was, I think it's just a special week in general. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a good start, and obviously something to build off of, and we're rooting for you definitely. Even though we're competitors next week, I'm still rooting for you.
Well, I'm not competing. I'm not on the track. That's not the news.
Yeah, I'll root for you on Wednesday. I'm a big Jade fan, so you go, girl.
Thank you. No. Yeah, and I think, Chili Bowl, it's obviously great to have a good week, and it gets you, your right foot forward to have, hopefully a good upcoming season. So I feel like, a lot of people say, it's an ender of the season, and a lot of people say, it's a start of a season. So I don't know. It's kind of an odd time, even though it is the start of the season. But like I said, some people say it's opposite. So I think it's just good to have a good week and get your season off hopefully the right way.
Yeah. What do you consider it, the start or the end of your season?
I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this yesterday. It's almost kind of like validation of like all the work that you put in the year before. You're talking about everything that you learned and whatnot. So it's almost like a capstone to that, but also like a segue into getting the season rolling. Because it's like
a good way to put it.
You know what? I kind of never really went one way over the other. Like for me, it was always kind of because it's like we would race Chili Bowl, and then USEC at the time, that's when they did dirt and pavement. So then sometimes they do speed weeks down at like New Smyrna on pavement. Oh, yeah. So we'd race that like a month later, but then we'd be off for 2 months.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of just weird. Like, it's like a step. I always thought of it as like a stepping stone into the season.
Yeah.
So it's kind of.
Yeah, that is a good way to put it, to kind of cap it off to, or hopefully to cap it off to, to see how much you've learned and progressed, through the whole year. So.
Yeah. Well, I think you and Kaylee Bryson are tied for, like, the highest finishing female with, like, 18th.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah. We'll have to see how it goes this year.
Yeah. But, yeah, like I said, it starts on your prelim night. Obviously, if you have a bad prelim night, it's going to be hard to, run through the soup. It is possible, but it just makes your week a lot harder, so.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well.
Yeah, for sure. My dad always said if it doesn't start off right, it doesn't end up right. And so at Chili Bowl or shootout or whatever, like it's totally valid.
Yeah.
Like even if your heat race goes awry or something happens, it's tough to battle back.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, that's where like I watched the shootout and like seeing like Ricky Thornton Jr. come from like behind in like his division, I was like. I was so impressed.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. I felt so bad for him because then he blew up.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm like,
I saw
lap 20.
that.
Like,
yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's why it's just like you just got to make the most of it. Like you can be like, oh, it's good to have. I always Chili Bowl. It's good to have goals. Sometimes even like per race, like I'll just set up like, okay, it'll be good if we do this or do that, and it's like a build up effect, Yeah. But just definitely making the most of it. It's a good theme for the week.
Yeah. Well, I'll be making the most of it from not on the track as I watch you guys. So I'm very excited. Jade, thank you again for coming in and chatting with us.
Anytime. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. And we'll see you in Tulsa.
Yeah, sounds good. See you guys.
Yeah, see ya.